everyone, and happy Monday. Today is May 4th, 2020. May the 4th be with you, as they say in Star Wars. I hope each of you had an amazing weekend. What's one thing you did this weekend? I hope it was outside. I know I was definitely outside enjoying my porch. I went for a walk. It was just so good to be in the sun. So let's get to our learning so that you can enjoy the beautiful day that will be today as well. Today for your materials, you are going to need your letter writing paper. Again, it looks like this. It does not have the words, but you can always write them in to help you out. Okay, so you have either a lined paper like myself, you have a blank paper and you drew the lines. Make sure you're drawing them nice and neat. Okay, or you printed it from the Google Drive. You're going to make sure you have your pencil. In this case, I have my pen. Go ahead and make sure you have all those materials now and we'll get ready to get started. Now, before we get to the actual writing, I have a few shout outs for a few scholars on Friday that wrote really convincing letters. They were convincing someone to get a new pet, convincing someone that their team is the best team, and convincing someone to give one of their favorite games a chance. They wrote really, really good reasons that might make that person change their mind. On top of that, these friends were writing neatly and they included all 5 parts of their letters. So shout out to Naraya, Ethan, Keisha, Adrielle, Victoria, Janella, and Lewis. Let's take a look at them on the screen now. If you need a good example, you can always pause this part of the video and look at their letters before you write your own today. All right, let's look. All right, time to start writing, everyone. Today we're going to be writing a special kind of letter. We are writing a letter to ourselves. That's right, you're writing a letter to you today. Now some of you may be thinking, what does she mean? Why would we do that? And the reason is so you can see how far you've come and how much you've grown in all of your learning, but most specifically in your writing. Today you're going to have 2 options. That means 2 choices. You get to write a letter to yourself when you're in 2nd grade. You're going to write to your 2nd grade self. Or you could write a letter to yourself about what you wish you did different in 1st grade. Okay, so again, you're going to choose to either write to yourself in 2nd grade, or you're going to choose to write about what you wish you did different if you could do 1st grade all over again. Now, if you choose to write about 2nd grade, I want you to think about these questions as you're writing today. What do you like and dislike about school? What is your favorite subject that you're looking forward to learning more about? What was your least favorite subject that maybe this year you think you might enjoy? What are you good at? What is difficult for you? What are your goals for this year in second grade? What are you looking forward to? It could be what you learn in school, or it could be with friends. What do you want to learn? How will you achieve these goals, right? What steps are you going to do? Those are all the questions I want you to keep in mind as you're writing to your second grade self. If you choose to write to yourself about what you wish you did different in first grade, you're going to be thinking, if I had the opportunity to do this all over again, what would I have done differently? Would my goals be different, either with my friends or what I'm learning in school? What would my goals be to change those things so that they could be better? Okay. Keeping all of that in mind, I want you to take the time now and think, which letter am I going to write? Am I going to write to my second grade self? Or am I going to write to myself about how I would have done first grade different? Think about that now, and when you have it, get your pencil ready in your hand because we're about to get started on our writing. Again, we are going to be building our sentences on our fingers and taking this part by part, just like we did on Friday. All right, here we go. So for our heading, we know that's the date. You can write it out in all words, or you could do it with just the numbers. Right. That is what you have so far. Okay. Now, for your greeting, that's who you're writing to. Some of you may be writing the same as me, and some of you may be writing something different. Okay, I am going to write to my second grade self. If you are choosing to write to yourself about how you did first grade, you would like to do first grade different, that is perfectly okay. All right, so I'm gonna write, dear second grade dear second grade self. And I put a comma so my reader takes a breath when they're going to read the letter. In this case, being me next year when I'm in second grade. If you wrote to yourself about what you wanted to do different first grade, it would be dear and then just your name. All right, now for the body. Now, before we get to all those questions I told you about earlier, which I'll put up again on the screen, we are going to write the opening line. We're gonna plan it on our fingers. Ready? Now I'm gonna write that down word by word, stretching out the sounds in the word or spelling the words from memory. Okay, your first opening line is going to be welcome back to school. As I write mine down, write yours. Okay, should look like this. Notice how my capital goes above the letters. Every other letter is in between. If it needs to be tall, it goes right up above. I have my punctuation at the end. All right, in your second sentence, I want you to think about what you learned in first grade, what you learned about yourself. Which subject was your favorite and which one might not have been your favorite? Okay, so I'm going to think about that now. I'm going to write that down word by word, again, stretching those words out or thinking about them by memory. When you're done, I want you to read your sentence back to you to see if it makes sense. So I'm going to do that with mine now. Last year, I learned so much in first grade. I didn't get into specifics yet because that's coming next. Do I think this makes sense? Yes. Okay, so now I'm going to get specific and add to that thought. So here I go, planning it on my fingers. Once you have it, write it down word by word. Again, stretch them out, or you already guessed it if you got it by memory. Again, just like that second one, when you're done writing, I want you to read the sentence back to yourself to see if it makes sense. Right now, I'm going to do that out loud. I learned that writing was my most challenging subject and math was my favorite because of all the strategies. So now I know what was hard for me and what was smooth and easy going for me and why. Now, because I'm writing to my second grade self, I'm going to write my goals about what I would like to learn in second grade and how I want to make it better than what I did in first grade. So I could grow my brain and my heart, growing all around. So I'm going to go back to my fingers to plan out my sentence. Okay, now I have it. Write it down word by word, stretching out those sounds, writing them from memory. And again, when you're done, put that pencil down, read it back to yourself, see if it makes sense. Remember, when you're finishing your sentences, you should always be adding a period, an exclamation point, or a question mark to finish that thought. I'm going to read mine out loud. This year, I am looking forward to learning more about coding and typing, right? We didn't get to do a whole lot of that in first grade, and because I know we're going to do way more of that in second grade, I'm excited. Okay, as I finish out my letter, now I'm thinking about my goals for this year and how I'm going to reach those goals. So think about that now. Okay? Going back to our drawing board with our fingers so we can plan out our sentence. Here we go. You got it? Write that down word by word. Again. And again, when you're done, reread it to yourself, see if it makes sense. Okay, I'm going to read you mine. My goal for this year is to focus more, try my best, and take my time. I'm telling myself what the goal is and how I'm going to do that. Okay? Now I want to write something positive at the end. You could choose from a number of things. You could say, good luck. You could say, you got this. You could say, I believe in you. You're going to choose the one that feels best for you, and you're going to write that down. Okay, so my last sentence was, I know you could do it. I believe in you. This is what my letter looks like so far. All right, we're almost through, pushing through, guys. For our closing, remember, you're choosing the one that feels fitting and best for you. Not everyone is going to choose the same one. You could say sincerely. You could say your friend. You could say love. Okay, choose the one that feels best for you. I'm going to choose sincerely. You have to put that comma. And your signature is your name. All right, this is my whole letter. Now, if you wrote to your second grade self, your letter will go something like this. If you wrote to yourself about what you would have done different in first grade, there are going to be some parts that are going to be similar and some parts that are not going to be similar to the second grade ones, and that is okay. Remember, you are always trying your best, and practice makes progress. I'm going to read you my whole letter so that you can hear how it flows, see if it makes sense, okay? And I want you to do the same after I do mine with yours. Here I go. Dear second grade self, welcome back to school. Last year, I learned so much in first grade. I learned that writing was my most challenging subject and math was my favorite because of all the strategies. This year, I am looking forward to learning more about coding and typing. My goal for this year is to focus more, try my best, and take my time. I know you can do it. I believe in you. Sincerely, Miss Anjos. All right. I told you a little about my year last year. I'm telling you what my goals are for this year, and I'm encouraging you. Make sure your letters do all three of the same things. When you're done, you're going to take a picture and put it on your seesaw. All right, that is all for today, my friends. Until tomorrow.